Today we are going to talk about making negatives and questions with future progressive tense. So we've learned how to use and how to make the future progressive tense, right? So we learned that we first start by choosing who we're talking about or what we're talking about. Then we say will be, and then the verb that we use, we need to put an ing at the end. So, for example, I will be drive. Okay, so that's the verb is drive, and we need to put an ing on the end or an ing sound. I will be driving to work. That's how we make it. Another example would be we will be, the verb is eat, so it changes to eating. We will be eating dinner. That's another example of how to make it. So we learned how to make this. This is how we make it negative. So we start with who it is that we're talking about or what we're talking about. Then instead of saying will be, we say will not be. And then the same thing, the verb with ing. So he will not be coming to work. Sorry guys, this one's just kind of hanging out for a second. So it's, let me show you. So just ignore the word work right here. So he will not be coming to work. That's how you make it negative. I will not be work is the verb, so we change to working, tomorrow. I will not be working tomorrow. So to make it negative, we just put not in between will and be, and we still use ing on the end of the main verb. So we're going to practice this. So we're going to change these sentences into negatives. We will be leaving on vacation. We will not be leaving on vacation. So you'll see everything about these two sentences is the same, except for this not right here. This is what makes it negative. So this sentence is negative because it says he will not be leaving on vacation. It means this sentence means that yes, we will be leaving on vacation. This sentence says no, we will not be leaving on vacation. So we still have the ing like up here, but we just add not. So the next sentence is my supervisor will be taking me to lunch. My supervisor, that's who we're talking about, will not be taking me to lunch. So that's how we make it a negative. So for this one, you can pause the video and try turning this one into a negative. So this sentence says, I will be sleeping. This sentence is, I will not be sleeping. So there's a not in there to make it negative, and we keep the ing verb. And we also still have will and be. We just put not in between. So that's how you make a negative. So we've talked about contractions before. Contractions just means words in English that are squished together to make one word. So we're going to review this. You probably remember this, but I will is I'll. You will can be you'll. She will can also look like she'll. He will is also he'll. It will is it'll. We will is will. They will is they'll. Will not is won't. So all of these are I will, you will, but this one is you only use won't if you're using the negative because it's will and not together. So for this next sentence, what is the contraction for won't? She won't be coming with us. It's will not. So she won't be coming with us and she will not be coming with us mean the same thing. They are both negative because won't is the same thing as will not. Will not be taking the bus tomorrow. Will is we will. We will not be taking the bus tomorrow. We'll and we will, we will, are the same thing. You'll not be needing your coat. You'll is you will. You will not be needing your coat. These two mean the same thing. So you can say you'll not be needing your coat, or you can say you will not be needing your coat. Either of those is correct. So we're going to practice with this. So this sentence says, I'll be driving home, which means I will be driving home, right? Because I will and I'll mean the same thing. So what we can do is, to make it negative, I will not be driving home. So we added the not and we said I will. You also can say I'll not be driving home. We put I and will together, so you can say I'll not be driving home. Another thing you can do is put will and not together. I won't be driving home, which just means I will not be driving home. He'll be buying me lunch. That is, he will be buying me lunch. So he'll means he will. To make it negative, he will not be buying me lunch. So we just added the not. We can say he'll not be buying me lunch because we put he and will together. He'll not be buying me lunch. We can also say he won't be buying me lunch because won't is will not, right? And he'll is he will. So you'll see how he'll and won't both use will in the word. So that's why you can't say he'll won't be buying me lunch. You can only say one or the other. You can say he'll, she'll, I'll, it'll, they'll, we'll. You can say any of those, but you can't say them with won't. If you're saying won't, you will just say he won't, not he'll won't, because both of them use won't. So those are some of the ways you can use contractions. And remember that these two sentences mean the same thing, even though they sound different. He'll be buying me lunch and he will be buying me lunch. These sentences mean the same thing. Just like how all of these sentences right here, all of them, mean the same exact thing. They're just different ways to say them, but they all mean the same exact words. So that's what you can do with contractions. So next we're going to talk about how to make questions. So we have the sentence, she will be working late. Now I know that I told you to always keep will and be together, but when you're making a question, all you need to do is put will at the beginning of the sentence. Will she be working late? Now, the important thing to remember is when you do make the question, make sure that you keep be in the sentence. You keep the word be right where it's at. Will she be working late? The be is what lets you use the ing at the end. If you just said, will she work late? That would be a different kind of sentence, right? It will basically mean the same thing, though. Will she be working late is asking, is she going to be at work late tonight? If you said, will she work late tonight? It means the same thing. The only difference is that there's a specific way, there's a certain way you need to say each of those sentences. If you use an ing verb, an ing verb, an action word that says a ing at the end, like working, talking, you need to make sure that will be is there, right? If you're doing the future progressive tense. And if you're asking the question, you need to make sure that be is here, even though will is at the beginning. So, how to make questions? We start with the word will, say who it is we're talking about, the word be, and then the verb with the ing at the end, the ing sound. For example, will you be, the verb is work, so we change it to working. Will you be working tomorrow? That's how we make a question. So we're going to do some practice. This sentence says, they will be leaving early. How do we make this a question? We just move will to the beginning. Will they be leaving early? And it's a question. We also need to add a question mark if we're writing it. The supervisor will be going to a meeting. Will the supervisor be going to a meeting? That's how we make it a question. We put will all the way at the beginning because the supervisor is who we are talking about. Even though it's it's two different words, it both is talking about who it is that we're talking about. My carpool will be coming late. Will, so we put will at the beginning. My carpool be coming late? That's how we turn it into a question. So that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions or are not sure how this is working, or if you think I'm talking too fast, or if you want more reading lessons, just let me know.